everyone, welcome to the Space Viking Chronicles for the kids, a different addition to what I'm normally doing. Instead, we are playing Dungeons and Dragons with these fine, amazing Space Vikings who have volunteered their wonderful time to help us raise money for the kids at St Jude. For those of you who know me, you know that St Jude is like a very dear to my heart. I go and visit them every single year, and I help volunteer and do work for them, as well as we try to raise money for them every year. And this year we are raising as much money as we possibly can. Our goal is $25,000, which is an insane amount, but in return, I'm going to be doing some stuff that is probably going to be humiliating and be on the internet forever. And yeah, we have a long list of things that are on that list. So hopefully you enjoy it. You can check that out at bit.ly/SVK4KIDS, where you can donate, and we'll talk a little bit more about that after we introduce our wonderful people here. But we'll start around. I usually always go the same way, so we'll do that. Talk a little bit about your character as well as who you are. So we'll start things off with Stan, the man.
Hey there, I'm Standalone. Space Viking for a little while, and kind of a doofus.
Kind of a doofus. Hey, your character doesn't look like a doofus anymore, though.
That's true, yeah.
He just sounded like one recently.
He sounded very intelligent,
that was
but
so
insane.
funny.
Yeah, I'm playing
You sounded
Buzz.
very smart about gastrointestinal things.
Yeah, much smarter about that than he is. I don't think he understood a lot of the words that he used.
What's your int?
His int's fairly good. What is it actually?
Above Uthal's?
Yes, it is.
Would that be int or wisdom, though?
I think that'd be intelligence. Yeah, he's got 12. He's not bad.
Oh yeah, you're above average.
Yeah. So I'm a half-orc fighter paladin. Wears an iron mask all the time. Swings a big axe. Makes an idiot out of himself because of wild magic in front of the priestess.
Granted, you don't get much choice in that matter.
Yeah. And well, that's Boz, really. Big orc. Actually, it's not that big.
How tall are you?
I think he's actually fairly short for an orc. I believe he was 5'8" or so. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's not that tall for him. Thank you so much, Aurora Marie, for the 20 bits. We super duper appreciate it. I will be giving half my bits and that's inappropriate, but I will be giving half my bits and my subs money as well to charity as well, on top of things. And moving on over, we'll talk a little bit to Derp Digital, aka Varys. Tell us a little bit about your character as well as yourself.
Hi, I'm Rick. I am head moderator for Roll For It and Enter Elysium. I don't know why.
Do you want to take over Frank's job? You can be our head mod too. No, I'm just kidding. You're really fired, Frank. No, I'm just kidding.
You've been usurped, Frank.
I'm tempted.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, just claim the duchy, just like in CK2. It's fine. But yeah,
It was like rip Frank.
when I'm not busy moderating all the things over there, I have my own Twitch and YouTube channel. Both are Derp Digital. Currently a bit inactive because life is wild. Let's put it that way. But I'm also here playing D&D, and my character is Varys, a wood elf who is utterly convinced that the forest is out to get him. I swear to God. I saw some grass, it gave me an evil
recently
look
got
yesterday.
a magical necklace that is made out of daisies.
Yes. That's going to be an interesting one to try and wear. But it protects against my best friend, the dragon. So, that's going to be fun.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add?
I think that's pretty much it.
All right. There's Varys for you and Derp Digital. And of course, moving on over, we've got a Snaz who plays Uthal Ice Slayer.
Almost a year.
And wanted to say thank you, Paladin, for the bits as well. 895 bits. That's an interesting number. Also, it flagged you as inappropriate when you donated that, so I don't know why. Tell us who you are, Snaz, and
is highly inappropriate.
tell us a little bit about who you are, Snaz, as well as Uthal.
I'm Snaz. I've been a space Viking for 6 months now, actually.
You got your first
Today.
set of horns.
Yes, I got horns. I don't have any horns though, but I play Uthal, who's a Goliath that's 7'11". He is the tallest one in the group, I think, by a long shot. Maybe.
So far, until someone else comes along that's taller.
Or I get shortened again.
Yeah.
Which
You have
that's
been
probably
both
more
the tallest
likely.
and the shortest.
Yeah.
Learn, reduce, person.
So, Uthal is a shadow sorcerer, and he has all the craziness happen to him. He got turned into a map once also, which also makes him the smallest and the shortest.
True, fair enough. I didn't think about that.
You have an impressive resume.
I have both been small and large.
You seen it all.
And of course, last but not least, we have Paladin Hulk, who is playing Tover. Tell us a little bit about yourself, as well as the wonderful Tover.
Hi everybody, I'm Paladin Hulk. I am the moderator for Roll For It, Geek Space TV, and Random Tuesday. And I am tired, I have a sore throat. I'm going to power through this for charity. I'm going to be playing Tova, Elven Mage. And you might be wondering what an esteemed noble such as myself is doing in a hovel like this. Well, that's an interesting story involving things like betrayal and infiltrating, stealing secret knowledge. But that's not all. Let's not go into that. Let's not do that. No, I came here of my own free will, and it's been wonderful. I mean, I lost a foot due to wild magic. All my clothes burned off me in some weird thing. Lost all my luggage and my carriage and my clothes, money. That was certainly strange. Also, the next time I get stabbed, I'm going to get incredibly drunk, which is very fun. Looking forward to that. So, yes. I'm a sorcerer, which is, noble. Comes with the territory of being incredibly blessed. And I learned some druidic tricks, which hasn't landed me in trouble at all.
Not at all.
Nope. Anyway, I'm looking forward to going on an adventure, which for a pampered noble is something I don't do a lot. So, hooray!
And a path of adventure they will go on. I want to say thank you, Standalone, for your 11 months, as well as Panksoxic for your 3 months. I really appreciate it. Now, to tell you a little bit about the world that we are going into. Liptville is a village that has had some really weird things happening in the town. A lot of people have fled the town, and there's a lot of money out there for heroes who are willing to come and help fix the issues that the townspeople are having and try to bring in more people into the town. The inn has gotten some repairs recently after the roof of the inn exploded, and there's been a lot of other issues that have come up in the town within itself. But luckily, we have a wonderful group of heroes who have helped aid the town and made it better. But there is still some danger that lasts. And how we do things here is this is a permanent world that continues to exist. Every week we bring in a new group of people, and we have a whole list of amazing cast members who have been on. I hear that Erwin and Tech Priest are back, so we'll be able to see their characters again at some point. I don't think we'll be seeing Rage's character for a little while because he's going to be out for a while due to, I think, school stuff. But Birdman, we'll have to wait till later to see what happens with the fate of the Birdman. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this, and if you want to be part of it, you as a viewer can also be part of this. If you look to the right of me, you can see all these wonderful things, and above Baz. If you do !St Jude, you will see a link pop up in chat, which is bit.ly/SVK4KIDS. If you do $5, you will give somebody inspiration. If you donate, make sure you let me know who you'd like it to go to, and yeah. That way I know. Otherwise, I get to pick. $10 is a natty 1 or natty 20. Let me know which of those you'd want and who you'd like them to go to. Note, you can also let these things go to me. 15 is wild magic. This means somebody has to roll a 1d10,000 and a random thing from my random list of random magical effects will happen. And that is how people lose their foot, turn into a bird, become tiny, or a map, or get really shiny teeth, or are pathologically afraid of plants. whatever suits your likings. And $20 is a magic item, and 30 is a threat. Now, a threat does not always mean, always for the planet. $30 does not always, or the threat does not always mean like a monster will appear. It could be a different type of threat. So keep that in mind whenever you donate those. As well as magic items, you can say what you'd like the magic item to be, but often I will like decide what makes sense in the moment because I try to make it all make sense in the world. And oddly, all of our wild magics have made kind of sense. It's a little creepy. So last week, we left off with a lot of interesting things and cliffhangers for each of our characters, and every one of them kind of was split up. So I'm just going to go through down the list and we'll talk to each of our players and see what they'd like to do, but keeping in mind that we're kind of a little split right now. See what happens. First things first is Baz. Delilah came up to the table. I think she was the first person to have somebody leave the table, which was everyone was at the table, and she came up and was like, "Hey, can I speak to you alone?" And you went. So where do you and Delilah go to get some quiet space to chat?
I don't know. Maybe just walking around more quiet streets or something.
Yeah, it's late at night.
Yeah.
You just had an extravaganza with the door not opening. That was interesting. And yeah, you're walking around. And she looks like she's fidgeting. She has like a beaded necklace with a cross on it with like the emblem of Helm, and she's holding it and fiddling with it.
Yeah, it takes a little bit for Buzz to notice he's a little quiet right now. He's still remembering that interesting event where, yeah, the whole book thing, that was weird. And
so do you kind of just like walk quietly for a bit?
Yeah, for a little bit.
So you both start walking, and you're walking kind of around the town basically, and we take about like 10 steps in silence, and she slowly starts speaking up. I had a dream.
A dream?
You had any dreams lately? Nate raises his hand.
Not many worth noting lately.
Oh. Well, one of them came true.
What?
You were in it. Well, it wasn't exactly how it happened, but it had kind of happened. Well, have you ever had deja vu? You know when like you have a dream and then it comes true, and in that moment you feel like you've been there before in that moment?
Yes.
It was like that. The other day when you came to the church, I had a dream that you would ask questions about Helm. And when you started, well, when you left, you were rattling off all that nonsense. That was part of my dream. It was like I had been in that moment before. Maybe there's a reason you're here.
There may be. I think there may be a reason for all of us that have come recently.
Why do you think?
I can't say. I believe that Helm may be guiding at least some of us. Roxy showed up just when we needed her, and I believe we would have.
She's the healer, the cleric.
Yes. I believe she saved our lives. She's why there's that mural in the tavern. But I don't know why yet.
I have this feeling that you should have this. And she pulls out of her pocket a small emblem of Helm. It looks like a clasp that you could put on your cloak to hold your cloak together. She kind of holds it out, her hand out to you.
He takes it and he looks at her. It's beautiful.
The old pastor lived here. Well, he left it. And I feel like it should belong. Maybe it'll help you, well, help guide you towards home.
I will wear it proudly.
And with the end of that conversation, you both are stopped in front of the Church of Helm once again. And we're gonna pan over to Varys, who just walked out of the inn, and the woman wearing the blue cloak was standing up against the wall, and she said something to you, right?
Yeah, I think she spoke to me. And we basically left it on a giant cliffhanger.
Yeah. She spoke to you, but the way that she spoke to you was not like a normal person speaks to you. It was almost like she spoke inside of your head, like the voice lived within you. And her mouth never moved. And as she leans up against the side of the inn, her cloak over her, you can just barely see little bits of her dark hair dangling down in the clasp on her cloak. She keeps her head down, the cloak covering quite a bit of it. The only thing you can see is her mouth, but her mouth never moves. And inside of your head, you hear... Why are you here?
I'm here to seek adventure. To see the world.
Are you sure you want to see the world?
Hail, Space Viking.
8 months of magical journeys.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vita.
It's definitely been interesting so far. With dragons showing up and Gargans. A whole gaggle of them.
You see it as adventure.
Yes, and a chance to do some good for this poor town.
You think you can fix this town? Look around.
And he sort of like looks around for a second.
Yeah, you take a moment to look around. You've seen this town a million times. The inn is probably the nicest part. You know, you take a look, the building to the left, there's still windows that are shattered. There's someone living in one of the buildings that looks like it used to be a leatherworker shop, but it looks like they're squatting, like someone like broke into the place and is now like squatting and living there. It's not the best. You know that most of the townspeople who do live here are like the last bit of hope for the town.
It says quite a bit when the tavern is the nicest place and it had its roof blown up and the door became a wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've walked past the stable quite a few times now because you've been staying out in the woods up north. And yeah, the stable, every time you walk by it, continually looks more run down. You know, they have animals there and they're not able to keep up with it as well as they possibly could. It looks like that gentleman who's running it he's running around all the time trying to like do his best, but he's like one little halfling guy and he's trying to like run the stable for the entire town. It's a little much.
Yeah. I pause for a second when I realize like how run down this town is. And then I look at her and say, well, maybe it's too late for the town, but there's something going on here that has to be stopped. The woods to the south. Very ominous. Very threatening.
You just hear laughter echoing in your head. And you think you can stop it? You're the one.
I don't know. But I'll try.
She walks towards you and puts her hand on your shoulder. So she's kind of like, your shoulder and her shoulder are like almost touching, but her hand is in the way instead. And then she turns to you and whispers at your side. She has interest in you. I'll figure out. And she walks past you, behind you.
She walks away, I turn around. Like, who is
She's not
she? Oh. Huh.
At least from first, like when you turn to look, you don't see her anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to investigate properly this time. This has happened before. I don't like it.
All right. You can roll a perception.
Oh no, it's
Oh,
a
no.
natural 20.
Natural 20. With your natural 20, just so you guys know, as donators, you can donate natty 20s or natty 1s. Many of them have a lot of natty 20s at the moment. They always have to use them. They can't like stock them up or anything like that. Tover is afraid of butter. This is true. I totally forgot you're afraid of butter. Yeah, you turn to look. You don't actually see her, but you know, you can see footprints that look like they're probably hers in the ground. Imprints, because they look the most fresh, right? And seeing that, maybe you yourself have not seen invisibility spells, but you would assume that she did something of that sort.
What direction do the tracks lead? Do they go north, south?
South.
I follow them for a while.
Yeah, you're following the tracks. Are you being sneaky about it?
No, because I imagine she would know anyway.
Nice, I like it. You're just like, I'm gonna follow you, girl. And moving on to our next one here. Uthal. You left a bit ago to rest, but not in your normal place of resting. You have offered your room to another woman who is in need. She lost her children and her husband, it appears, and so you had offered your room so kindly to her. And in the meantime, you decided instead of getting another room for yourself, you were going to go down to the south and sleep at the edge, just to see what the fuss is all about. For those of you back home who don't know, the south of the town has slowly, the forest in the south of town is completely overrun. It looks like mangled trees, and all the trees have like lost their life. They almost look like they're dead, and that deadness is slowly seeping forward into the town. And if you just go to the edge of the town, you can kind of see the grove of trees that are now infected or cursed, is what they think. I don't know. The town has been whispering all kinds of things. And the group has heard that there was trees that came to life, that creatures came out, creatures of the night, of possibly dead likeness, were attacking people. And of an old hag, or what they're calling an old hag, who watched on and laughed. What's your plan here, Uthal?
Probably just gonna go to the edge. He might stay up a bit late this night, and then and sleep if nothing seems to come out or be making noise a lot in the forest.
Okay, so you're kind of looking around to see if anything's off. At first glance, like I said, you look around and the forest is definitely not doing so well. Are you going deeper in so that you're in that part, or are you staying kind of like in the part that looks still like there's grass and life?
Uthal would stay like in the grassy area.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't move too far in, just because he knows that other people have been injured inside the forest.
And Cracks, thank you so much for the donation. We will get to that soon. Yeah, so you're setting up and putting your bedroll down. And do you have a tent, or do you just have a bedroll?
Uthal does not have a tent. He just has the bedroll.
Yeah, you just put the bedroll down. You're gonna sleep, looking up at the stars. And is that your plan, just to sleep?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, you lay down in your bed and you slowly fall into slumber. We're gonna, before we get to you, Tover, we're gonna stop for a moment and hand back to Varys, who is walking south towards where Uthal is. About halfway to where Uthal is at the edge of the town. Roll me a 1d10,000.
Yep.
Thank you, Crax's Revenge, for the $15 donation to give Rick a wild magic. All right. To find out what it is, you rolled a 666.
It's a sign.
Okay. You start walking, and as you're walking, something distracts you. Your chest feels like it's burning. What do you do?
Is it like, do I feel like I need to cough, or?
It feels like it's like something inside of your chest is like stabbing you from the inside.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm gonna like pause and check to make sure everything's all right.
Yeah, so you're like pulling open your armor, looking down. Yeah, and as you pull your armor open, you look down, something tears through your skin, and out from it pours this little, it looks like almost like a vine, but as you look at it further, it's like brown and hairy, and it gets longer and longer and longer. It's a horse's tail. Your wild magic is the target sprouts a horse's tail from the center of their chest.
I always knew he was a horse's ass.
All those times spent horsing around in this town, it's finally come to bite me in the ass.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, at least you now have a tale to tell.
At least it wasn't a plant.
I can turn tail and run whenever now.
I was tempted to make it be a plant because that would be funny, but it's not what it is. So.
Right, I try to tuck it in carefully.
Okay. You try
I'll,
to
I'll
tuck
figure
in.
this out later. It's fine.
So you're just like, all right, and you just tuck in the horse's tail and put over your armor over it. It kind of poofs out still, so it looks like you have like a middle boob. But
This
it's
is why I have
hairy.
a cloak. It's
You have
fine.
a hairy middle boob. And you continue walking. Tover, we're gonna pan over to you. You just woke up in the middle of the night, and there were Uthal, how many exactly?
I believe the count was at 72 when
There are 72 human ears on you, and then some kind of weird darkness.
They weren't on me, right? They were around the bed.
Yeah, they were around the bed. That's right. They were like
That's
all
different.
around the bed. You like stepped out of bed and you stepped on like a human ear.
And then the darkness lifts, and I can see that.
The darkness
I'm
lifts
like,
and you can just see. Well, you're an elf, right? Half elf?
So I don't sleep. You know, I'm a
Yeah.
high elf. Thank you
High
very
elf,
much.
Okay, high
Half
elf. I
elf.
don't think you
Come
can
on now.
see in the darkness. Do you have dark vision?
It's magical darkness. You can't see through it.
Yeah, but you don't have
Yeah.
dark vision because you don't
I
have
do.
the light on yet.
I do.
You do? Okay. Yeah, then you
Mhm.
can see the
Yeah.
everything around you. What's your reaction?
Ew. Gods above. These random magical whatever the hex. I hope they get slightly more tasteful. I should really get a broom or something, but yes, that's for the maid. And I I leave the room.
You just leave the room? Okay. You're gonna leave it to the maid and you're gonna leave the room.
I'm far too noble to dirty my hands with this.
Where are you headed to?
Oh, I just finish the meditation thing, like right outside the room.
You're just gonna stand. Oh, you're gonna sit outside of the room and
Yep.
meditate.
Because
Okay.
I have to finish resting to regain all my spells.
Yeah, you finish. You sit in front of your doorway outside. A drunk person comes stumbling in and kind of distracts you from your meditation a little bit as they're stumbling and hitting the wall and singing weird songs that you haven't really quite heard before, and stumbles into the room. It sounds like they have a little bit of a hard time getting the key into the hole of the door, and so they're messing around for a while, but then they finally get into the room and slam the door shut. Doesn't sound like they locked their door. It sounds like they just might have plopped into their bed.
It's because the lock is invisible. That's why he was having such a hard time. It's not because he was drunk. I
Potentially.
remember that too. Alright. We continue doing the meditation thing. It's 4
Alright.
hours.
And with that, as you're sitting there meditating, roll me a 1d10,000. And thank you,
Oh,
Tasteful
no.
Magic, for the $15 and 1 wild magic for Tover.
Alright. 1 to 10,000.
There goes the inn again.
Ooh, that's a high one.
That is a
Ooh.
high one. High is good,
The higher
right?
the number is, the more dangerous it is, usually.
No, that's probably not true.
This is a really weird one.
Gods, no.
We sit and we watch as Tover meditates. And slowly we pan out. And Uthal, you wake up because something hits you in the head.
Uthal will probably immediately grab his new longsword.
Yeah, you grab your longsword and you like, are you getting up?
Yeah, he'd get up and look around to see.
You
if
get up and look
someone-
around and
Thing.
there is a simple wooden cup.
POGAIRSO.
Sitting on the ground.
A cup.
Yeah, a simple wooden cup.
He'll pick it up.
The wild magic was someone nearby finds a simple wooden cup.
Well, you weren't kidding with that high numbers being horribly dangerous.
Yeah, usually it is.
Oh,
It's
no.
funny.
That's terrible.
I guess I'm now in possession of a simple wooden cup.
Yeah. Lucky. I have literally no possessions.
That's not true. You have a large amount of eaters.
Yeah.
I do have that, and I have my backpack, which is all you need really as an adventurer,
I gave you some armor.
and some armor kindly donated, as well as a cloak.
What do you do after you get hit in the head with the cup? Are you gonna stay up, or are you gonna try and go back to sleep?
He'll probably stay up for an hour or like half an hour just to see if maybe someone threw it.
Oh, okay. You're looking. Do you want to like look around and kind of investigate
Yeah.
to see who threw it? Okay.
Yep.
Roll me either an investigation, that would be like you're searching and trying to like figure out clues, or a perception, which would be more like you're just looking around and you're not like looking for clues necessarily. You're just like kind of looking and seeing what's around.
Okay, I'm gonna
You
look.
can choose what
and-
you would like.
Gonna look for clues,
Okay.
but I am groggy, so I'm no good at them.
Yeah, with the 12, you look around and you're not sure where this cup came from. It doesn't appear that there's anyone else here. And you're looking around, but you just don't see anything. You see the trees, everything that you saw before you still see. But it doesn't look like anything has been disturbed. Like no trees have been jostled or moved from the last time you saw them. No new footprints are on the ground. Like you're looking to see if there's footprints, like indents in the grass, and there are some new ones. Those are from you. But other than that, there's not really much else. Dude,
Okay.
this cup just came out of nowhere.
Oh, I woke up.
And you see 5 severed human ears as well, as they had fallen off your chest when you stood up.
Yep. After not seeing anyone else or any footprints, he'll probably just set the cup down next to the ears and go to sleep.
Right. There's just like a bunch of ears splayed about and a cup, a simple wooden cup. Thank you so much, Ballast, for 13 months of support to the Space Viking fleet. I really appreciate it. And everyone falls asleep for the night, other than Tover, not everyone, other than Tover, who is meditating. Varys, you are currently still following. And Baz, are you going to head to sleep? Or are you planning to meet up with anybody else? You know that Uthal went down to the end of the forest.
Boz might go to check that direction, see if everything's okay. Or he actually might just camp out in one of the abandoned buildings near the edge.
Okay. Yeah. Are you being sneaky about it?
Nah, I don't think Boz ever sneaks.
Yeah. Uthal, while you're awake for an hour before you go back to bed after getting a cup dropped on your head and ears falling out from your chest again, you do hear some ruckus at the end of that hour in one of the buildings nearby. As well as you hear footsteps coming towards you down the pathway of the street to the north.
Okay. It's just coming from the town?
Yeah.
Then? He probably won't worry about it then. Just
Okay.
sleep.
Baz, you're able to like break in, you get into this house. There's no one there. And the room is fairly small. It looks dusty. There's some cobwebs that are about, so you can kind of like push those aside. You do find some cushions that look like a semblance of a couch. And we'll come back to Varys, who's walking down the street. So, Varys, as you stop to look at this thing that grew out of your chest, you kind of for a moment lost sight of where the tracks went. But with your 20, I'm going to let you continue going on. You find the tracks again and you start following them. As you move forward, you see something laying on the ground out in front of you.
Okay, I'll momentarily deviate to have a closer look.
Okay. You walk towards the area and you see... Oh, that's Uthal. You see Uthal laying down on a cot. There are a bunch of ears around him and a wooden cup. And he's laying on a bedroll.
Right. I think we talked about someone camping out here, so...
Yeah.
That makes sense.
You did hear that
I'm
Uthal
gonna
said
go back
that.
to my tracks.
Yeah.
What kind of terrain are we in at the moment?
Terrain? You are currently on a rocky trail. It's about 2 wagons wide. And the area that you just went into is an open, it looks like it loops around so that people from the south would come up this road, and people from the north would come down this road to get into the forest down south. And then it looks like to the left there was once another stable, a south stable, but it's no longer a south stable. It looks like maybe someone bashed in the door and of the little home that's next to the stable. And that kind of looks recent. But otherwise, everything else looks like it has been abandoned for a really long time.
Okay.
You see
I'm just gonna
cobwebs
follow
on the
my tracks
windows.
again.
What was that?
I'm gonna go back to the tracks.
Okay. You go back to following the tracks. The tracks are going out into the forest.
I'll follow them for maybe half an hour.
You're gonna go into the forest for half an hour?
Yes, not too deep, but I will definitely follow them for a little while.
Okay. Yeah, you start following them for a while. And as you get further and further into the forest, about 15 minutes in, you feel this coldness wash over you. The trees almost look like they're getting closer to you.
Oh, I pull out my swords. I'm ready for this.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Totally Not Prank, for the $105 donation. I will get that in the works. Oh my goodness. Perfect timing, Frank. Perfect timing. Yeah. You see the trees coming closer and closer to you.
Okay, when I start to get this creeping sensation and the trees are actually trying to attack me, I think I'll call it a retreat here. I memorize where the tracks are and I start making my way back to Uthal.
Okay. You're gonna make your way back to Uthal?
Yeah.
Yeah, you slowly walk your way back to Uthal, and there he is, without a doubt, sleeping on the ground. There are a bunch of ears next to him and a cup, a wooden cup.
I pick up the cup.
Okay. What's your plan with the cup?
I chuck it at him to wake him up.
Uthal, you wake up again as something hits your head.
I wouldn't have thrown it at his head. I would have thrown it on his chest.
Okay, you wake up as something hits you in the chest.
As I wake up, I grab my long sword, my great sword. Sorry, I'm so used to using a long sword. Never used a great sword. I brush off these ears that seem to just appear on my chest, and I look around.
You look around, and immediately as you're looking around and you're swinging, you move your greatsword into action, you get into a stance that you're ready to you're I'm ready for business. You see Varys standing there in front of you.
Just gonna stare him down.
You both stare intensely into each other's eyes.
I'd say something, but I don't know how many people are listening, gesturing at the human ears.
Oh, that? Yeah. I wake up with those around me. I don't know why.
I mean, I did literally just see it happen, so it's actually not that hard to believe.
Yeah, I
I
don't
just
know
woke
why.
you up with a cup.
Did you throw that the first time?
First time? No,
Yeah,
I just passed by here. You remember that lady from the tavern?
Which one?
The cloaked, scary one.
Mm, the one with this pin?
Is that the same pin?
I think it is.
You look at it closely. Do you want to investigate if, like, do you remember? Did you like really look at that pin to see what it was like?
I probably didn't, let's be honest. I was too busy doing like the spy thing in the tavern, like, oh, I noticed you, but I don't let you know that I know.
You bought her a drink too.
I bought her a drink too, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the one that, yeah, I basically give her like give him a short description, like, she spoke to me, but not with words from her mouth, basically. She talked to my mind, and then said a bunch of confusing things and left.
She spoke like Ardoff? Interesting.
Yeah, your character has met Ardoth before, right, Varys?
I've met Ardoth, but I haven't like heard him talk like
Yeah, you've
telepathically.
heard new Ardoth post being in hell.
But you have heard reference to her talking like him twice.
Yeah.
Ah, so
you could tell him
Ardoth
you
can
haven't heard it.
Also do that then. Interesting.
Yes.
I've barely heard him speak as it is.
It's been a while since I've heard him speak also.
Anyway, there's a trail leading close by here. She went into the forest down south.
Into that forest. He points like over his shoulder towards the forest.
The very same.
How long ago?
An hour ago? 30 minutes ago? Something like that?
Uthal
I went in
smacks
like 15 minutes and then back.
Uthal
Yeah.
smacks himself in the face.
To be fair, she was invisible at the time.
Well, I heard someone walking. I guess that could have been
I
her.
wave at him.
I guess it could have been you too.
Yeah, and as you wave at him, roll me a 1d10,000, derp. Aurora wanted it to be your hair turning into leaves, but we will leave it up to RNG to see what it ends up being. Maybe if it's something that I can tie into that, we'll add in.
Watch it hit me again.
You're like a magnet.
I think it's payback for the ears.
Oh, yeah, you wave at Uthal and you start like swallowing, like it's really hard to swallow, like your saliva. And as you're doing it, you start like coughing something up. You keep coughing and coughing, and shards of glass start pouring out of your mouth. And you just like cough out a bunch of glass.
Ugh.
It's pretty gross.
Does it hurt? Yeah, I imagine it hurts.
Yeah, and after the last one, you cough out, a leaf lands and slowly falls to the ground.
Are you okay there? Been eating windows.
You're still coughing. There's like blood kind of coming up.
Okay, I'm just. Ugh. Oh man. Don't remember waking up and having glass for dinner.
I guess we both have oddities about us.
Very interesting town, to say the least.
Yes. Having trouble with these ears. I fear the town may think I'm stealing children in the night.
It definitely looked suspicious, but after chucking that cup on you, I'm inclined to believe you, because I just saw it happen in front of me. Your secret is safe with me, but you might
Thank
want to
you.
be careful about camping out in the open next time.
Yeah. I figured no one really visited the south end of town because of the forest.
He just looks around and is like, oh, you're not wrong.
Although, to have someone enter it. You don't think that was the hag, do you?
I don't know. She was mocking me when I said that I came here for adventure. Asking if I thought I was the one that could fix this town.
From what you saw of her, like the bottom of her jawline and her lips and like her hair, she looked young.
She looked young, but she cast invisibility. There's no doubt in my mind that she can cast other magics. It could be an illusion. It could be genuine. She said that someone was interested in me. A certain she. I don't quite know what she's talking about, but I have my suspicions. And I don't like it.
I assume she did not elaborate.
That would be too easy. No, I think our answers lie in that forest. And we will be able to do some good for the town while we're at it. Whether we're the chosen people or not.
Okay. Well then, perhaps we should definitely, in the morning, proceed into the forest and help maybe push it back somehow.
Yes. I'll keep watch while you sleep. So that no one listens in. And he looks at the eyes again.
He'll take the 10 ears now that are on the ground and he'll put them in the bucket that he brought with him.
Okay.
I look questioningly at the buckets, and I don't say anything. I just look very questioningly.
Yeah, did you put the thing over the bucket like you did last time?
Last time I put my bedroll over the bucket.
Oh yeah, your bedroll's on the ground, so okay.
He
People
may
probably just thought you were taking the bedroll to use for the bathroom or something.
Let's see, what can I put over it?
Cloak?
What?
Your
Cloak?
cloak?
I gave my cloak to Tover,
That's right.
and the cloak that I'm wearing I wouldn't want to put over the bucket. Oh, I know, I'll just fill the bucket with rope. 50 feet of rope go on top of the bucket.
Yeah, totally. You mess around in your bag a bit, and then you pull out this big thing of rope. You see all of this, Ferris, and he just like throws it in the bucket. He looks very satisfied with what he's done, and he kind of nestles in and slowly dozes off to sleep. And you
You should
watch
put
over
some-
him.
You should put some corn in there so people won't find it suspicious if you start talking about ears.
Ew.
Now, I don't meet a lot of people who go with a bucket to the forest to go pushing rope and then actually push rope in.
And you all fall asleep. Now, everyone has a peaceful sleep or meditation other than Baz. Baz, can you roll me a wild magic? This is from Totally Not Frank. And of course, again, thank you, Aurora Marie, for the... I hope you like the little bit of leaves that I put in there. Alright. Oh, interesting. You don't... This doesn't really affect your sleep. Oh, actually, I'll tie it in. I got an idea. Yeah, you... you have a dream. And it's almost like you're not there in the dream. Like you're watching something. You know, like when it looks like you're just watching something play out. And you see Delilah. She's standing in the inn. She's talking to somebody else. And they're whispering things to her. And you are basically like slowly getting closer and closer and closer in until you actually hear a little bit about what they're talking about. Sounds like someone saying, yeah, it has a heart of a goblin. Did you hear that? And you hear Delilah say back, no, I don't know what you mean. And the other person next to her is like, that's what I heard. And she points at the mural. She points directly at the image of you on the mural. And Delilah looks over and she kind of walks over to the mural and touches it lightly. And the two of them sit there for a moment, looking at each other. And then all of a sudden, you fade back into sleep.
All right.
Castor is rumored to have the heart of a goblin.
All right.
If you want to write that down for yourself there.
Sure.
As another string. I don't know what that means necessarily.
Just one? Man, he's slacking on the job.
That's true. As an adventurer, I should probably have a bunch of those.
Some of us have many more body parts lying around, so...
Well, it doesn't
Some of
necessarily
them
mean he
need
has the
extra body
physical
parts.
heart of a goblin. It could be that he has a heart of a goblin. You know? Which goblins are pretty troll. They kind of just look out for themselves. Yeah, so everyone sleeps and everything's nice and calm till the morning awake. We will start off with the two that are together. You both wake up, or well, I think Varys, you're not really waking up. You're just there, right? You don't need to sleep. You're like Tover. Y'all don't need to sleep. Yeah, you're watching as Uthal wakes up, and you see just as he slowly, doing his morning stretches, you see ears appearing on his chest. There's 4 of them. And Uthal, you wake up.
Noticing the 4 more ears, take the rope out of the bucket, put the 4 ears in the bucket, put the rope back on top. And he'll look over to Varys and say, I need to figure out a way to get rid of this.
You might want to have a word with Ardoth.
Why is that?
Well, he's either a bloody good dentist, or he can undo magical effects. Because my teeth were falling out thanks to magic, and they stopped doing that now. He also fixed the door in the tavern from being a wall.
Let's see. I think at that point, Varys saying that he could undo magic, Uthal realizes he can also undo magic, and has been able to for a while. It's just been skipping his mind.
Yeah.
And he'll try to stop it.
That makes sense. All right. You gonna cast Dispel Magic?
Yep.
Right. Our first spell of the night. All right. And what level are you casting this at?
Just 3rd level.
Okay. This is just to remove the ears part.
Yes.
Yeah, you hold the bucket in front of you, and you pull out the rope, and you're like looking down and cast a spell. You're not sure if it worked yet. You'll find out in the morning.
Okay.
But it does feel like you casted it. And
Well,
Varys, you watch this happen.
the magic surely flowed out of me. Whether it worked, Uthal shrugs.
You know, for someone who casts magic, I would have expected you to realize that you could do that a bit earlier. But it is not my place to judge.
Things skip my mind.
It is true that this town has a way of distracting you.
This is very true.
Well, you do have a -1 in intelligence. So
Yeah.
it makes sense that you didn't remember it. You had it. And with that, you guys hear some jostling going on in the building that you saw, Varys, that looked like the door had been broken down recently. You see like a figure moving around in there, and Baz, you're waking up.
All right. Yeah, he probably wakes up with kind of a confused expression, like touches his chest.
Yeah, you remember that dream, even though you woke up. You know, sometimes you wake up and you don't remember your dreams at all.
Yeah.
This is one you remember.
Yeah, of course it would be.
Yeah.
He's probably like packing up all his stuff. He's like, "Had worse." Starts to walk out the door.
Yeah, as you walk out the door, Baz, the two of you, Uthal and Varys, see him. Clear as day.
Well, that explains that mystery then.
Well,
There you are.
yes.
He walks over to him.
Do you need an ear, perhaps?
What?
An ear.
I just like gesture with my foot to the bucket. Like, we have a bunch of them.
14.
What have you been doing?
Waking up.